The Phox filter, on the other hand, the pH went down to 3.5, which is really very low, and you can definitely taste that this water is very acidic. I live in a hard water area in the UK, and to make good coffee I need to filter the water because coffee doesn't taste very good if I just use the tap water. So I have a British style jug, and then I was wondering which filters are better, either these third-party Phox filters or these Brita filters. The benefit of the Phox filters compared to the Brita filters is that they're better for the environment. So with the Brita filters, they have a recycling scheme, but what you do is you take the whole cartridge back. They then, remove the resin and the carbon from the filter, and then recycle the plastic, or they give the plastic to a company to then recycle. With the Phox filters, you keep your casing and then you just replace the filling from the inside. So I'm going to replace the filling now because I need to for this filter. So you see you can take the top off the filter somehow, like that. So this clips in. So this has to clip in quite strongly because it's quite difficult to get it out of the jug. And then you can basically take it apart. And then this also comes apart, I imagine. Okay, so covered in these filter things. So let's put this back in there. It's pretty not a very pleasant experience. And now, so you get this softener thing. So you can just pour that into here. So this will be the filter material. So with the Phox refill pack, you get the filter material, and you also get this kind of felt thing that goes over the top. So now let's put this back together. I think this just clips in. Nice. And then I can open this. And then put this thing back on. Put the lid back on. So you're going to make sure that this clips in all the way, because otherwise, otherwise when it goes back in the filter jug, this might come undone a bit, and so it needs to be clipped in all the way. And then you just have to activate the filter in the same way that you would with the Brita filter. Okay, so I wanted to know which of these was better. So, I mean, there's the obvious considerations for the environmental aspects of using these, but then also there's the quality of the water that you get out of it. So to measure that, I bought these water hardness test strips from Amazon, a TDS meter, and then also a pH meter to test, you put some water in, has some properties, and then you get the water out. And then I wanted to see how these properties had changed. So there was more difference than I was expecting between the Phox and the Brita filter. So I'll put the results up on the screen just to So this is when you have a fresh filter, what happened to the water that I put in. So obviously if you have different water, it will probably change, but this is a rough idea for comparing these filters. The biggest differences were the time it takes the water to go through, and then also the pH of the water out of it. So the pH of the Brita filter, so I put slightly alkaline water in because I'm in a hard water area. And then the pH goes to quite a reasonable 6 or 5.9. So this is okay. This is kind of what I would expect from when you're filtering the water. And you can taste a difference, and I think that's largely down to the pH of the water between the water that you put in and then the water that you get out of the filter. The Phox filter, on the other hand, the pH went down to 3.5, which is really very low, and you can definitely taste that this water is very acidic. So I probably don't have the most accurate pH meter, but it's definitely clear that this is very acidic, and I think too acidic really, and means that the water just doesn't taste very nice out of it. When you have a new filter, you can assume, I think, fairly safely that the water that you get through the filter is of zero hardness. So to make good coffee with these filters, what you want to do is mix some of the filtered water with some tap water. So the Specialty Coffee Association has some recommended hardness levels. So you can literally just work out what your water hardness is, either by testing, or you can probably Google your area, your water company or water supplier, and they will probably have some data on what's in the water. So get the value of your water hardness, and then that's probably higher if you live in a hard water area. That'll be higher than the recommended hardness for brewing coffee. And then all you need to do is sort of mix the right ratio of tap water and filtered water so that the hardness is correct. So it's just a linear relationship between them. So, if you put 50% tap water, then the hardness will be 50% of your what your original hardness of your tap water is. So you can use that to work out the appropriate amount to add. And then, so at the end of the life, so I also did some tests, at the end, just before I was replacing the filters. And the ability, so at the 35 days and the 45-day mark, they stop altering the hardness of the tap water. So the tap water that you get out of these doesn't get softened when the filters have been used up. So what you want to do is, if you say you work out, how much tap water you want to add at the beginning, and then throughout the month you want to kind of gradually reduce that to zero to get sort of consistent coffee. So in conclusion, the Phox filter is probably better for the environment, but you do have to every month, create some waste yourself. The Brita filter, you can give it to them, and then it's kind of on them that they're bad at recycling. But the water that you get out of the Brita filter tastes nicer, and I think brews better coffee. So I'm going to stick with using the Brita filter and not use the Phox filters.